An ICE agent just shot someone on the streets of Minneapolis. It was captured on video. A person was tackled, thrown to the ground, and shot. A tragedy, a moment of violence captured for everyone to see. And Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, sent a letter to Governor Walz within hours, not offering support, not investigating the incident, but issuing an ultimatum. "The violence needs to end," she wrote. "Here are 3 things you need to do." And the first thing on that list? Turn over Minnesota's voter rolls. The sensitive voter data the Trump administration has been suing states for months to access. Wait, think about what just happened. A tragedy occurs, and immediately the Trump administration uses it to demand access to voter data. Is that a coincidence, or is this extortion? This is what we need to understand. The Trump administration has been trying to access voter rolls in multiple states. They've sued state after state. They've threatened states. They've demanded this data. And they want it for one reason: to manipulate the 2026 midterm elections. Now, with the shooting in Minneapolis, they have an opportunity, a tragedy they can leverage, a crisis they can exploit. Think about how this works. You create or exacerbate a crisis. You flood a city with ICE agents, despite the fact that the undocumented population is minimal. You generate violence and fear, and then you use that violence as leverage. "Give us what we want," the letter essentially says. Or we keep sending ICE agents, we keep creating chaos, we keep the violence going. It's the mob boss playbook. Nice city you got here. Shame if something happened to it. But if you cooperate, well, maybe all this stops. That's not law enforcement, that's extortion. So why do they want voter rolls so desperately? What can they actually do with that data? In the worst-case scenario, and we have to assume worst-case scenario with this administration, they can do devastating things. If they want to disenfranchise voters in a specific area, they need to know who those voters are. The voter file tells them exactly who the Democrats are in a congressional district. They can target those voters specifically. They can say, "These ballots came in by mail. Let's challenge those." They can look at the signatures and claim these don't match, and they can use the voter file to identify exactly which voters to target. They have social security numbers, party registration, when you registered, when you voted, which elections you skipped. They can slice and dice this data however they want to suppress votes. But it gets worse. Imagine the election happens and the Republican candidate loses badly. What then? They seize ballot boxes. They refuse to count votes. They declare themselves the winner anyway. And how do they do that? They use the voter database to know exactly where to go, which votes to challenge, which votes to declare invalid. We're not being paranoid. Republicans have tried this before. Right-wing groups have tried this before. But those were just groups. This time, it's the government. It's the Department of Justice. It's federal law enforcement.
Now, read what Pam Bondi wrote carefully. She said, "I am confident that these simple steps will help bring back law and order to Minnesota." Notice that language. Bring back law and order. That's an admission, an implicit confession that what's happening right now is not law and order, that the current situation is absence of law and order. But who created that absence? Who flooded Minneapolis with 3,000 ICE agents? Who intensified enforcement in a city with minimal undocumented population? Who created the chaos? The Trump administration. And now they're saying, "We created the crisis. Here's how you make it stop. Give us your voter data." It's circular. It's intentional. It's designed to extract something from the state through coercion. Pam Bondi knows what she's doing. She knows this is extortion, but she's betting that people won't notice. She's betting that the legacy media won't cover it. She's betting that people will focus on the headline, "Law and order needed," without seeing the underlying threat. But we have to understand what this is really about. This isn't about immigration enforcement. This isn't about public safety. This is about the 2026 midterm elections. Trump said it himself. He told the media he doesn't think we should have elections in 2026. He told the New York Times he wishes he'd seized ballot boxes after 2020. He went to Davos and announced there would be prosecutions of his political enemies. This is a president who has already tried to overturn an election, who has already attempted a coup, who has already shown he will do anything to stay in power. And now he's using a tragedy to extract voter data from a blue state, a state whose governor criticized him, a state whose governor called him weird. This is political retaliation disguised as law enforcement. And it's working, because while everyone is focused on the shooting, focused on the immediate tragedy, nobody's paying attention to the long game. Nobody's paying attention to the fact that Minnesota is being coerced into handing over voter data. Here's what should terrify every American. The Trump administration is pursuing this in 24 states, in half the country. And there are already 10 Republican states that have voluntarily handed over their voter data. That means the administration already has the voter rolls from 10 states. The toothpaste is out of the tube. That data is in their hands, and they can begin using it immediately. But in 24 other states, there are lawsuits ongoing, there are legal battles happening, and the only thing standing between the Trump administration and access to that voter data is a small law firm with 60 lawyers fighting 80 cases across 40 states. 60 lawyers fighting the Department of Justice, fighting Republican operatives, fighting right-wing vigilante groups, all trying to prevent voter data from being handed over. And where are the big law firms? Where is the organized legal resistance? There is none. No major law firm is involved in any of these 24 cases. No major organization is fighting the 10 states that already surrendered. That's how serious this threat is, and that's why it matters. So here's what just happened. An ICE agent shot someone in Minneapolis, and within hours, the Trump administration sent a letter to the governor demanding voter data as part of their ultimatum to restore order. Order that they created, order that they control, order that they're using to coerce blue states into surrendering sensitive voter information. This is election interference. This is a threat to democracy. This is what happens when an administration cares more about power than about people. If you want to understand what's really happening with voter data, with election interference, with the Trump administration's systematic attempt to rig the 2026 elections, not sanitized, not filtered, but the documented reality, then you've got to like and follow for more. This channel breaks down the threats to democracy nobody's talking about, the voter data being extracted from states under coercion, and how one small law firm is fighting to protect voting rights against an entire administration. Hit subscribe, share this with everyone you know who cares about voting rights and democracy, and let me know in the comments, do you think this is extortion or am I seeing this wrong? Thanks for watching.